What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Our Interpretation with the Cottrells.
With the Cottrells.
It's lit.
Per usual.
We starting out a new week. It's Monday. So we wanted to get into a topic that, you know how we do. We jump right into it. We wanted to kind of slide into a topic about, this month, basically, and, the start of a new beginning, I guess I should say. I don't know what I should say right now. Like, how we...
I don't know. Well, I guess you could say a new beginning because it's a new week, right? Mm-hmm. It's still towards the beginning of the month, right? It's or would it be mid?
It's definitely like the 15th.
It's giving mid.
It's giving mid.
Okay, sorry. Well, I was trying to help you out, so you didn't sound lost. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into mental health today. Like, we want to talk about mental health. The month of May, for those that may not know it, is actually Mental Health Awareness Month. So I felt like it would be like a bomb topic for us to talk about, especially because back in the day, Black folks talking about mental health, therapy, all of those good things was not something that was talked about out loud. Frowned
upon, almost like you felt belittled even about talking about it because people looking at you crazy.
Yep.
Saying that you're crazy.
100% agree. 100%. And then if it was something going on with you, it was kept in your household. Like, you ain't supposed to let nobody else know.
Yeah, that's a thing. I wonder, is that like just as popular now as it was back then? Like, what happens in this house stays in this house type of deal.
I feel like it is. Like, because if you think about it, there's so many, like, old school parenting still. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, social media will make you think there's not, but there's still a lot of old school parenting.
But, I mean,
Black parenting,
it's still going on, yes, I will say. But
yeah.
Is it still as much as it was back then? Because I feel like it was like 90% back in the day. Like, everybody knows the same thing. But I feel like now it's like maybe 40. Maybe these like new age parents that's like they want to be the friends.
Come on, new age, okay?
They want to be the friends instead of the parent. Like they want to know what's going on in the.
That's
what I mean?
true. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point, especially because people are having kids at much younger ages now.
People are starting to be more woke and conscious, so they're stepping outside of the religious meetups. I'm gonna say. So it's like, is everything still kind of the same?
Not even religious, they're stepping out of the way that they were brought up by their parents.
Which was usually in the religious aspect.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that. So let me ask you, for mental health, right? What are some things that you would say that you do now to, like, help with your mental?
So right now, I mean, like, okay, so like back in the day, and this was probably just how I was, I'm going to say brought up, I don't want to say raised.
Oh, because there is a difference.
Yeah, so back in the day, it was like if nobody's talking to you, you don't speak, basically. Like, that's when you're around, like, adults. Mm-hmm. Like, don't speak unless you're spoken to. Or, like, don't. So, a lot of times where I wanted to, like, speak up about something, it kind of took me back, like, I don't really feel comfortable talking about this because I never had a platform to feel comfortable talking about anything that I wanted to talk about, because it was kind of like when adults are speaking, like, don't be in my mouth, like, like, you stay in the child's place. You know what I mean? So in my mind, I have always been in the child's place.
Yeah.
So I say that to say that I'm now starting to dive more into myself than to please other people. So when I take my mental breaks where I want to go just out and just drive, and it's just me, because I was an only child for the first 9 years of my life, almost 10, so I was always by myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have siblings to be there with me, so I need those moments that I had as a child that I felt comfortable in. I need those back sometimes. So I'll stay at home, and my friends will go out or something like that, or I don't want to be invited to events, or anybody inviting me to events I don't want to go. Mm-hmm. I just like the comfort of myself, because I know that I don't annoy me, or I know how to make me I ain't gonna say, I don't know if it's happy. Like, I know how to put me in a good space.
I mean, I will hope you not make yourself happy.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know how to feed me. I know how to feed my energy.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I know what I need
like
to feel comfortable within today's society. Like, at the beginning of the week, like, today, luckily I had a day off where I was able to, like, I still handle other people things in the beginning of the day. But then, like, at the end of the day, I'm like, this is me. You know, I could do this. I could do something that I always wanted to do, which is y'all got a paint job coming real soon on Bay. You know what I'm saying? On my Camaro. I can't wait till it's done. So
she has been talking. Yes, please tell the people.
I've been talking about this for a long time, and mind you, I've had the money. I just, I don't want to give up that chunk of change right there. So it's like, okay, now I'm doing something for me. So now I'm happy about something that I'm doing for me, because I feel like I'm always pouring into other people.
And can I just say, I get to sit passenger seat in that gift that you blessing yourself with.
Not if you're going to be leaving freaking Chick-fil-A fries in the seats.
Oh, so now you're going to have boundaries. Get a paint job, and now you got boundaries and rules of the car?
That boundary and rules was set in place before the paint job.
No, ma'am. So one of your mental spaces, or something that you use to help your mental, is definitely by speaking out, or speaking about things that you normally would have.
About things that I'm uncomfortable with, because I have never really been comfortable with saying what I'm uncomfortable with.
That's like such a good one.
And taking time for myself.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that. That was good. I really like your first one. I felt like people need to hear that, so I had to run it back.
Yeah, I really kind of just dove into like the definition of it, and not really the word of it or the phrase of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't really clarify that. But enough about me. How do you keep your mental intact?
Well, one way I do that is by having a nice glass of wine, or no. Actually, that's sometimes, y'all. Hold on. But what we did not get into is that I have a nice, lovely drink with me this evening. Margarita mix and tequila and pineapple juice. That's right. The bartender herself mixed that up. And it's so good, y'all. Yeah. So.
And I had 2 Gatorades that are already down, so I'm dry for the rest of the podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe.
That's cool.
Okay, so besides having a nice glass of wine, occasionally, or something stronger if it's needed, I will say, okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a rundown, because how I take care of my mental changes. Right, it has changed now that I think about it throughout the years, and it's probably still going to change, because I'm learning different things about myself, and things that may trigger me. And of course, you learn something new about yourself almost every other day or every month, right? Especially when you're self-discovering. So I've learned that with different triggers, now I have to almost find a different way to cope with them, which is part of mental health, right? So back in the day when I would get stressed out about things, my number one go-to, okay, and probably a lot of ladies can relate, maybe even males, okay, was shopping. So to sustain my mental, I would go shopping. Stressed out, it was shopping.
I feel that.
Yes, and hold on though. I didn't window shop. That was not my thing. I would listen, and even if I went to that mall and I was like, "Dang, there ain't nothing in here I really want." Right? Man, I'm gonna find something. I don't care if it's just me going to Victoria's Secret and buying the 7 panties. What is 7 for $32?
It was 7 or 5 for $35, 7 for $35.
Yeah. Even if it was that, and I wasn't even one to buy panties like that, but even if it was that, I was going home with something, right?
Yeah. Retail therapy was a thing of mine.
Yes, but I would spend I could spend probably about 2 hours in the mall. I kid you not. And I'm just walking. But the thing is, when I'm stressed out, I'm not really thinking about it. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm walking around the mall just because it's like therapeutic to me. Right. But before I know it, it's like 2 hours, maybe almost 3 hours that's passed. Like, I've had friends call me sometimes. They like, yo, you good? You at the mall? Or they already knew, like, had a stressful day at work. They already knew they could find me at the mall. Like, real talk, right? So that was my thing. Then it came to be, there was a time where I definitely did alcohol more so to help my mental, which was not good. So I quickly stopped that once I noticed that, right? that was a done deal for me. But my other thing I like to do is definitely be by myself and listen to gospel. Y'all, when I tell y'all, gospel helps me so much when I'm like going through things. That's what I do. So I listen to gospel. I sing my heart out. Okay. I will cry it out, but it helps me. And I could do that for hours too. Like, I really think I realized most of my like days that are like for me to deal with things where I just need to take that mental break. I can't do it in the 10-15 minute like I used to in the past. Like,
I don't think I've ever been able to do it. 10-15 minute time span. Like,
okay,
no.
But you know how like some people when they're stressed out, like when you're working a very demanding job, and they like, yo, I'm gonna go take a smoke break to like, you know what I'm saying, gather themselves. Like,
I mean, but that's to like gather yourself quickly, but that doesn't last.
True. That's very true. That's very true.
Cause I'm like, I never. Okay, so my thing was never to go to the mall when I was stressed because I didn't like people. Still don't really. I honestly don't like being around a lot of people. So my thing is like to take a drive. Like if I'm trying to like, cause sometimes it's like, all right, I'm stressed. I feel like I need, well, not really stressed, or I'm feeling like depressed, or I'm feeling like a low energy. I feel like I want to be around somebody, but nobody is available for me to be around. Then I'll take a drive because I just need to get out of the house. I don't have a destination. I just want to get on the highway. I want to listen to my music. I want to have my windows down. Sometimes I don't even listen to the music. I just want to have my windows down and just listen to the earth hitting my ears. Like,
not the earth. It's a whole vibe though.
It is.
Like, doing that is a whole vibe. Like, I've done that a couple of times. And when I think about it, like, I don't think I knew it then, of course, because I was younger. But my dad would take rides up to DC. Like, that was our thing to do. Right? And I wonder now if he was doing that, you know, for his mental, and that was his break.
Yeah, that could be.
You know what I'm saying? Now that I really think about it, because y'all, we would go from Virginia and ride up to DC and just literally ride around DC and then back to Virginia. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really think that was his thing. And then
it could have been his way of escaping.
Yes. And I grew to actually really love that. But when I moved to Indiana, I wasn't riding out like that because I didn't know the ways around like that. So
I mean, I didn't know North Carolina when I first moved here. I used to just take a street and just go straight until I couldn't go straight no more. Hop on the highway and just ride out for like 15 minutes and come back the other way. Like, I didn't know where I was going. Just rolled out.
Just roll, right?
Yeah. Or I would go to a movie by myself, or I would take myself out to eat.
Oh, that's you. Yeah.
I have done a lot of stuff by myself. You. I've went to basketball games by myself in a whole nother state and city. I've went to a whole nother state and city that I've never been to before by myself, just to like get away. Like, I've done everything there is to do by myself. I've done it by myself. Well, everything there's to do with other people, I'm pretty sure I've done it by myself.
And see, it took me moving to another state in order to do things by myself like that. But what's funny is you talked about how you do that because you were only child for almost 10 years, where I grew up with siblings. So that's probably why I'm like the opposite when it comes to that. Like, being around people, like, you know what I mean? Of course, everybody likes their space at one point in time, but that's just funny. So we're going to have to dive into that another episode. But my other way of definitely dealing with my mental or just keeping it intact is something that, okay, so I used to write in my diary back in the day, right? And I realized that helped me. And also, it's like so much fun to actually read about what used to happen back in the day, right? So I started back as an adult writing in my journal too when I'm stressed, because now, you know, we grown up. It's called a journal, not a diary. So
same thing.
It really is, you know. But now that's something else that I like to do as well, is to write in my journal. Although I find myself sometimes still like being like, oh my gosh, if somebody reads this journal, I don't want them to read this part. You know what I mean? So there still be like small parts that I keep to myself, and that's not good either, right? So there's still things that I'm learning in order to help my mental, right? And part of that is being honest with yourself. And sometimes I find I can't even do that in a journal. Like, you see what I'm saying? Out of fear of somebody seeing it. Yeah. So that, like, mental stuff is still something I'm working about. And that's why I said, like, it's such, like, something that you're going to work on all the time. But having a good support system, therapy, I definitely recommend therapy. I need to get back into therapy. It's like, and having good friends or family members, or having that one person that you could talk to and feel comfortable with, like, those things help.
So you said get back into therapy?
Yeah.
So you had therapy?
Yeah. So, okay. It's probably, okay. So I had therapy one time, right? Because I was trying to get out of work and use sick time. So I called myself going to a therapist. Yeah, it was supposed to be, you know, just for that. And then I found myself sitting in the room and I was like, oh, this hitting a little too close to home. I couldn't keep going to therapy. It was tapping into too much stuff. I said, oh, I can't do this just to get out of work now, because this is doing too much. Like, it tapped. And it goes back to once it gets too real. You know what I'm saying? Because even though, like, you have your friends and you're in a relationship and stuff, there's still going to be things that you hold back onto, because it's like nobody's supposed to know those things. Or I don't want these things released where now I have to face it and it's going to hurt someone's feelings. Right? So I did try therapy at that time. And that's when I also realized, okay, Tawana, there's some stuff you got to work on, girl. Especially when I didn't want to go back. Right. And then the other times when we did it together, right? And I was a little bit more comfortable doing it at that time. I was still a little bit reserved, but I was trying to be very open with it because I wanted you to be comfortable too, right? So I didn't want to shy away how I did the first time in my therapy session. So that's why I said I do want to get back into it now, because I actually did like it.
So the one session that you did?
No, the session that we were doing together. I liked the feedback from the therapist. No, not the one session, because I was like, it was too much.
I think you should do... I kind of feel like it's a little weird to not do it alone, but do it together.
No, but I'm saying I'm not, like... So, I wouldn't mind if you and I went back and did it, right? But I do want to do it alone.
I feel like that would be a priority before jumping back in it together.
Yeah, why you saying it like that?
Because I feel like you're only getting it as like a couple, but you're not diving into your personal issues. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Because at the end of the day, I'm still there. So if you wanted to hold back something that you really wanted to hold back, you're going to hold it back. Whereas, though, if you were in something by yourself, you don't have to really hold back, because it, what is it? Client, patient,
privilege, privacy.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah. Confidentiality.
Yeah, confidentiality.
They gonna think we don't own no businesses. You ain't got no degrees.
I don't think that, because I ain't got nothing in psychology.
Okay, period.
Yeah, that stuff should never come out. And then if it does come out, do you know exactly where it came from? Because you don't release it in one person. So I feel like anybody that really wants to open up and see maybe people are saying something about you that you don't necessarily see in yourself, that should definitely be something that you get into. Like, just to see it from another perspective, because you never want to have a one-sided viewpoint, because then you ruffling your own feathers as long as with everybody else's feathers. Like, I know people that get way too like, just with the situation that's been happening in my life, or like my family aspect, it's just like, I feel like there are people who are not held accountable for actions, and they're just able to dive back into the relationship of the family or friendship, and they don't get held accountable. So this action keeps repeating itself. But I think that these people never see within themselves, because one, everybody's scared to tell them. Two, if people close to them tell them, they don't listen to them. But I feel like if there's an outsider who knows nothing about you, who you are telling your information to, and they give you a feedback, then you're probably going to be more susceptible as to listening to that than whereas you're listening to it from people that you actually know.
No,
that
that's
have been around.
true.
Which is weird, because the people that you know that have been around you should be the people that you should listen to.
But it's not weird. Let me tell you why that just struck something with me. It's not weird, because if you think about it, right, what always happens when people are, when you have kids or when they're in middle school or become teenagers, right? And the parents are like, they just won't listen to me. They just won't listen to me, right? When they're trying to tell the kid about themselves and tell them something that they should be doing better. But what do they always say when that happens? They're like, well, Johnny, can you talk to him? Because they actually look up to you, right? And it's coming from an outside source, so maybe they'll listen. And what typically happens is they do listen. So that's why I'm like, it's not weird to me, because that does happen. Those people close to you, they can end up hurting you more and hurting your feelings more than a stranger telling you something. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times people don't want to hear it. I'm guilty of it, right? But if you think about it, when a stranger tells you something, it's like, I can't punch this stranger in the face or be mad at them, right? Because at the end of the day, they don't hold a piece of my heart like my family or my friends do.
They don't know me.
Yes.
They know this 15 minutes of me that I've just given them. But other than that, they don't know anything about me. Right.
And how you pick that up in 15 minutes. What they've been trying to tell me. How you pick that up.
Which family member you been speaking to? Is it Keisha? Keisha? You been talking to Keisha? Y'all got something going on?
Okay, who else you talk to? Let me find out. Let me ask Keisha if she referred me. Did Keisha refer me to you?
Yeah. So she thinks she's slick.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's just so something that we always run into.
Yeah, that's true though. That was good. That was a very good point. So with that as well, right? So I want to talk about boundaries and the boundaries that we set with like friends and family, right? In order to sustain our mental, or as some people like to call it now, keep the peace, right? Because everybody want to keep the peace within themselves, right? So what boundaries do you set with friends and family to make sure that you are having that peaceful moment?
So my boundary setting is very fresh. Like, it's very new. Like, within, like, probably since the pandemic hit. Because I felt like I don't feel like it's like, oh, the pandemic hit, now I can open up more. It was just kind of like coming to a realization like, hey, you're not happy and you need to figure out why. Yeah. Why are you able to make everybody else happy and it's like, I'm trying to figure out like how to word it. Like, I can jump over hurdles for people that need help or that mention that something's not going right in their life or whatever to the point, but I feel like that does not happen with me. So I had to dial back, say no, learn how to say no, which was a very that's like a different issue. I've been preaching about this for years. Like, these people, I feel like they just reach out to me when they need something. Like, nobody ever hits my line just to see how I'm doing. Like, I've never gotten that. Just never. My line doesn't ring for that.
That's real.
But when people need something, then they're my line gets blown up. It's urgent. You know what I mean? So
yes,
it's like,
come on, it's urgent.
So I had to dial back from just pouring into people.
Yeah. And
also verbalizing my boundaries or what I don't like or what makes me uncomfortable. Just verbalizing it. And then when people feel like me verbalizing what makes me uncomfortable is an issue for them, then I have to dial back and be like, hey, that energy is pretty much not what I need, because I'm coming to this person and saying, I'm not even coming to this person, I'm stating something in the moment that may offend me or something I'm uncomfortable with or whatever, to the point that affects my energy. And if you can't handle me saying that and you make it about you, then I have to distance myself from you. And that's how I'm like trying to keep my mental peace.
And setting boundaries with your family and friends. Okay.
Yeah. So the boundary setting is the dialing back.
Okay.
Like, okay. I'm not as available anymore.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I'm trying to think if I have any boundaries.
I don't really think you do.
That's probably why I asked you the question.
Yeah, you set them or tell me you setting boundaries for people, and then I just be like, this person that did this and called me for my help, and then I'm like, you helped them, did you? yeah, but they say they gonna do this. I'm like, Lord.
But you know what is the problem? Is that Libras, we are just givers.
Oh, it's the blaming of the zodiacs for me.
I had a conversation with the Lord. But listen, we are givers, right? And then we love, and that's, you know what, that probably falls into what you do too, right? But because we also love to give people like multiple chances until we can't anymore, right? And that's the one thing about me. Like, I will give multiple chances until I can't. And once I'm done, I am truly done. But I'm trying to think. So one boundary I do know for a fact that I've set is like, okay, so I don't like when people call my phone and they are constantly complaining about like their significant other, or constantly complaining about like a friend of theirs. And you give them advice on how to handle it, and they still call you with the same stuff, right?
Yep.
So I, especially people that were in relationships and wanted to call me about like their partners and stuff all the time, doing the same stuff, I don't like to hear it. Mm-hmm. So that is a boundary I actually end up setting. And I remember when I did one of my friends, they were like, I think they were stuck in surprise that I had did that. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Because it does, like, it could drain you.
And it's like, you know the answer that I'm about to give you because
I've already told you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's really true. So I really didn't want to hear it. So that was one of the boundaries that I did set. Mm-hmm. And I will say, like, one of my homegirls, like, she actually brought it up to me and was like, how did she say it? She basically brought it up that I had told her, basically, no, she was like, I know you ain't want to hear it, so that's why I ain't call you. And I was like, I'm glad sis knew. So we were fine. You know what I'm saying? But that was a boundary that I actually set with friends.
Yeah, because that takes away from your energy. Like, I could be having a good day and then you call with the same stuff you've been calling me for the past couple months. Like,
Well, you used to say, what did you used to say? You used to say, like, people even calling you about, like, their relationship, like when they're arguing and stuff like that. Like,
I don't stand for it.
It's releasing the energy into our home. Yeah.
You know, I don't like it.
Yeah, that's what you used to say all the time.
Do not come over my house to talk about your relationship. Invite me out. If you want to talk about the negativity and whatever's in your aura, don't come to anyone's household. This is a PSA. Normalize
PSA.
Not coming to people's houses with a messed up energy.
Yeah,
that's why our rug said
I was just
that
about
our
to
sister
say
brought us. Check your energy at the door.
Yes,
that is so disrespectful. That your aura is off, your energy is off, everything about your situation is off, and you choose to bring that to somebody's household. Invite them out for a drink. Don't even bring it in your household. You say what you got to say out in the atmosphere. You go home, you sage, you pray, you do whatever you got to do to cleanse that energy out of your household.
Hold on, I got a question. Why they can't bring it to their household? Why they can't invite me to their house?
Because then you are accepting that energy within their household. Oh. So now every time you go back to their household, they're releasing that energy in their household.
Yeah,
they're receiving it and they're releasing it within the same walls.
True.
This is just my interpretation of things.
No, but
this is what I'm saying as a boundary. Do not bring your negativity to my house.
Yeah. That part is true.
If you call me on my home, we work with that. But to actually bring over that aura, this monkey on your back, and then leave that monkey at my house, I don't care for it. Yeah, it's too much for me.
And I used to like always talk about like different spirits and energies like coming into the home. Mm-hmm. That's why I remember when I had my first apartment, I didn't like a lot of people coming into my house, right?
I've never been that way.
Yeah, I didn't like a lot of people coming into my house. But then that just kind of got away because our apartment kind of turned into like a little party place because I had a roommate. But after a while, I was like, yeah, no, this can't continue to happen. Because that actually does happen to different spirits and energies and stuff. And I started to notice it, right? But I will say the one time it really hit me is when like that happened. Like somebody brought their argument that they were having with their significant other into our house, and then we end up being off that week. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, she was right.
And understand a lot of situations where people try to go outside their relationship to find validity in it anyway. Like,
well,
you're going to a one-sided argument. No, this is for the people that continuously do this with every argument that they have with their significant other. Okay. I get if it's built up too long, it's beginning to be too much, but it's like every argument y'all going to social media or going to somebody else.
Okay, yeah. Now that's different.
People, too many people in your relationship. There's too many sides of views that ain't there. They only get one point of view. Even if they are getting both point of views, y'all arguing the point of views. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
just
true.
Talk
that's
it
true.
out. Y'all, if y'all can talk it out with somebody, talk it out with each other first. Talk it out.
If you can. But if you can't, then what?
The thing is, they ain't even trying to talk it out first.
But what if they try, babe, to talk it out with their significant other, and the significant other ain't trying to hear it? That's typically when they go out to the friends.
That's not actually.
Okay, it's probably not typically.
It is not.
I take that. Look, let me stop.
Always going to the friends. Even if they done got over the situation that they were arguing about, it's still gonna go to the friend.
I was trying to play devil's advocate.
On one hand, and within the 4 years that I've been with you, how many times I have gone outside of my relationship to talk to somebody? I can count on one hand.
Yeah, same. That's actually true.
Like maybe 2 fingers. Like literally, like is.
Yeah, that's same.
No.
I would definitely take that. That's same.
Because that person's going to get that one-sided view of whatever I feel like is going on. So, of course, they're going to agree with me. It ain't too many friends that's going to be like... I mean, there is some out there.
I'm about to say, I actually got one.
I'm not going to say they don't exist.
Yeah, I actually got one or two.
But most of the time, they're going to agree with whoever's bringing that conversation to their front door.
I mean, and that's very true. That's why we always say, like, people know who to go to. Like, you know what I mean? When you want somebody on your side, you know which friend or family member to call.
Man, some people don't though. Because I definitely had an ex that had a yes man, and that's the only person she would ever go to. And I said, you're never gonna change or grow with a yes man.
Yeah, facts. No, that's true.
Never.
That's part of like knowing the people in your circle. And first of all, nobody wants just yes men. Like, I mean, your ex did, but your ex did. But if you real grown out here working on self-development, you don't want your circle of friends to just be yes men. Like, you can't grow that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? I personally wouldn't want that. I don't have yes men around me, which I'm thankful for, to be honest, because... And a lot of us are so opposite at the same time. Like, there's no way it could even be like that with my friends and I. So I'm grateful for that. But as far as like hopping back into boundaries, I'm on like a whole to be continued. When it comes to boundaries with like families and like people super close to me. So yeah, that's to be continued for me. All right, y'all. Well, I definitely hope that you guys learned something from us when it comes to mental health, and that you guys are taking your mental health serious as well. And if you're feeling depressed, definitely reach out to a family member, a friend, or someone, you know, that you can definitely call a confidant to give that information to, because I believe that everybody should have at least one. And if you don't have it, y'all can always DM us. We have no problem with doing that. And we have no judgment zones. So. Facts. If you ever feel like you're comfortable enough to release that information to us, we'll try to give y'all the best of our knowledge. Mind you, we ain't professionals. Facts. So don't expect no professional opinion. Facts. We're going to give y'all our opinion. From our life experiences. And it's literally our opinion. It's not a fact. It's not the best thing you should do, but it's how we feel like you should handle that situation. Yeah. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for stopping by, and until next time, we out. Peace, love, and blessings.